first question. What made you write a book right now? Why the book and why now?
Okay. Firstly, I dropped out of college. I was trying to study literature. I couldn't do it. And studying literature for exams, it kind of cured me of reading also. For the longest time, I never read a book. 10, 11 years ago, I started reading. That's because I became an atheist, so I wanted to know what will happen after I die. So I read a lot, and none of the philosophies, theologies, none of them satisfied me. So I started reading autobiographies and biographies of people that So I read exclusively non-fiction, and I read a lot. I don't have the time to...
Yeah. Have you got it on camera? Please, you only read non-fiction.
I only read. Because even in my life, I prefer a reality show to a fiction show. I find real life the most entertaining. Roadie's 10, we are the cheapest reality show actually. We are the poor man's reality show. We are the only reality show from India. It's our own concept. But we are the first and only reality show in India to reach season 10, which is a big achievement. And for me, that was the end. I didn't want to continue with Roadie. So before I ended, because I've been stupidly controversial for no reason. Whatever I say, whatever I do, there is controversy. There's a lot that's said about me, and I've taken it for 10 years. That's a long time for a man with little patience. So before I went, I wanted to put my side of the story forward. It's not that, oh man, I've led such an exemplary life, man, you must be inspired by me, man. That's not the point. The point is, this is my side of the story. This is my Roadie's journey. And I wrote it now because I thought that was the end of my journey, stupidly. But then I needed money because book writing doesn't pay in India. So I'm stuck with another season of Roadies. Thank you very much.
In addition to Roadies, you also, created this show called Splitsvilla in India.
Yeah, something I'm not very proud of.
Reason being?
See, when people say that, critics of Roadies, they say the show is against Indian culture. They say that it encourages politics and backstabbing and abusive language. Actually, it doesn't. They misunderstood it. Roadies is a world which is created, which is very unfair, where it is easy for you to do the wrong thing, to choose to do the wrong thing. It will be beneficiary for you. It will be very difficult for you to choose to do the right thing. So, the world is unfair, but it is about who can make the right choice in that. Splitsville, on the other hand, what I wanted to do was, I wanted to explore the dark side of love, but it became too commercial. When somebody gets eliminated from Roadies, it's a vote out and he goes, whatever, one dream is dead. In Splitsville, I kept seeing women, young girls and young boys being rejected for their personality by their people, and it was humiliating.
And that's far more personal.
Yeah, I don't think that kind of humiliation is required. I don't agree with it. So after 2 years of making it, I gave it up. This show goes on and it's doing well. Some people like it. I don't. I couldn't take it.
So coming back to Roadies, you've got this concept of introducing Insepticons.
Yeah.
And there's been a little bit of controversy that Insepticons can influence the outcome.
Yeah. The more I think about this book was a bad idea. I shouldn't have written this. Let me explain what an Insepticon is. Through the years, there has been this debate, are reality shows real? Yeah? Especially about Roadies.
Absolutely.
Those of them who don't get in, who do not get selected, they say that the selection process is rigged. Those of who get eliminated, they say that the survival is rigged, the show is rigged. It's easy for them to say that. It's easier than actually examining themselves. There is one particular thing, I have quite a few revelations that I've made. One of them is about the shooting of the show. There's something called Insepticon. Inception, you've all seen Inception, Christopher Nolan's masterpiece. And you also know of Decepticons, which is a stupid film, Michael Bay film called Transformers. In any event, when you're asking a question, we know what is going on in terms of who's playing what politics, who's lying to. We know it, but we can't tell the contestants that. What we do is, we frame our questions. There is something called a video diary. It is when you see the contestant talking to camera. The contestant is telling the story to camera in his own words. Those words are an answer to a question that is being asked by a producer sitting next to him. So we frame our sentences in such a way that a seed of an idea is planted in his head. We don't tell him somebody is playing politics against you. We don't tell him watch out or do something, vote that person out, that will be better for you. We don't do that. But we will frame the question in a way where, okay, suppose the girls have the pop majority right now, you are with them. You will remove the other boys. Once the other boys go, who do you think will their target be? So he's forced to respond to it, and by responding he's forced to think about it. And he might choose to do something about it. We don't make that choice for him. But yet it is bending the rules. If not, it's not breaking the rules, but it is in the controversial grey area.
So, and is that something you sort of condone?
No, I mean, it's great. See, here's the deal. A reality show is a show where the contestants are real, which means it's not Salman Khan playing Munna or Jai. What you're saying is not written by a dialogue writer. You're saying what you mean. Your emotions are real. The expression of that emotion is real. The situation is forced, obviously. The situation is made up, contrived by the producers, but for you it's a real situation. If you get hurt during this task, you will get hurt. If you are eliminated, you will go home. It's a real situation for you, and your reaction to that situation is real. So as long as that happens, it's a reality show, and there's no problem with it. The minute the director tells these guys, listen man, I need some more drama, why don't you do fight, or why don't you do pretend to have a relationship going on, why don't you do... The minute they're fed, then there is a problem with the reality. And Insepticons, like I said, they bend the rules, but we don't tell people. So I think it's awesome. And I think after reading this book, a lot of the reality shows will take that up. I hope they do, because right now what they're doing is telling people to fight.
So at least it's a fine middle road rather than crossing over.
Yeah.
I was going through and I realized that you've been nominated for a Global Indian Music Award.
Yeah, once.
For your song Manmani.
I'm telling you, who are these people who nominate? Talentless, tone-deaf people. But like I said, if they're stupid enough to nominate me, I'm smart enough to wear good clothes and go there and get photographs. Yeah, and there's this. This was the anthem for Roadie's 9, season 9, Everything or Nothing. And it was a song made by Agni. And that's the first time I sang, and weirdly I was nominated.
But I believe it was a pretty big hit.
Yeah, it's a hit.
And I'm sure it was not only because it was a Roadie's anthem for the...
It's a good song.
It was also because of the character of the song.
Yeah.
I think what it portrayed.
Yeah.
It had a rebellious streak to it.
Yeah.
Right?
Unreasonable demand towards life.
Yeah. Would you say that your journey from school, so, can anybody believe in this audience that Raghu Ram would have been bullied badly in school? No. Who believes that he can be bullied?
I was.
Nobody.
I was beaten up every day for 6 years. Every day. And bullying is not just about physical violence. If I was standing in line to get into the bus, for example, I'd just be plucked out, thrown in the back. If somebody lost his geometry box, he'd just come pluck mine and said, now this is mine. And that was the end of it. There's nothing I could do. And this happened for... my school had to change because of that. That my parents had to take me away from that school.
Because it was that bad?
It was that bad.
The bullying was that
bad.
Yeah. And so, tell us about that period. I mean, do you use those experiences? Is that something that you dig into and say, well, I'm not going to let that happen to me? I mean, how?
It's not an active act of digging into it. It's part of my psyche now. I believe that schools are among the world's most vicious places. I mean, second only possibly to prisons. I really feel that. That's my experience. It is survival of the fittest, and there are different ways one goes through high school. I mean, girls, they have a different way of different cliques and all that. Boys, अगर तुम्हारी पिटाई नहीं हुई तो मतलब क्या education है? Nothing. It's a regular part of school and college, and the place I came from, Onirka, that was also a tough neighborhood. So, two things happened. One, I believe that experience gave me an empathy, a power to empathize more than usual towards anybody who is being isolated or oppressed. I believe I have that because of the way I was treated as a kid. Secondly, what happens is, I'm intolerant towards it now. When somebody is talking, people say that, hey, we like the way you stand up for women. I'm not only a feminist. For me, women are bullied in India. Men are bullied who bully women. Be it about castes, be it about religion. Now, sexual preference as well. I see it as forms of bullying, and I have to say something about it. I have to do something about it. it just pushes buttons that makes me behave in a way which is controversial.
So in a way, that period, those 5-6 years,
They have defined
it has defined you in many ways.
in many ways, yeah.
Right?
I'm famous because of it now.
So I think the bullies actually did a good job for you.
Yeah.
You should look them up in the old school calendar, diary, whatever, and
They'll be in prison. They'll be in prison all of them.
But what is your view? Do you think bullying can be tackled by hitting back?
Okay, that if you read my book, that's part of the solution. I would request anybody who reads my book to not take my word for it. You will get beaten up really bad. But the idea is, here's a little story that I like. There was this sadhu who, back in the day, was traveling from village to village. He had to pass through a forest. And there was a snake that came and said, "Hi." So I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm going to bite you. I'm going to..." "Why?" "I'm a snake. That's what I do. I bite people. But I haven't done anything to you. That may be, but I'm a snake. I have to do. Think about it. When I don't pose any threat to you, I'm going to go on. Don't do it. Violence is bad." So after that lecture, he says, "Okay, you can go." Goes away. Sadhu comes back 2 months later. Same forest is going. He sees one snake shredded, teeth are gone, bloody, bones are broken, eyes are dazed. He's just like that. He says, "Hey, what happened to you?" Snake says, You. It's all because of you." He says, "What? You told me that violence is bad. I should not, strike at people randomly, and I haven't done that. Now every kid who comes throws stones at me. They play with me. They look at me. You did this." And the sadhu says, "I told you not to strike at people. I didn't tell you not to show your feelings." And that for me is the answer to bullying. You have to make yourself into something that bullies will think twice before hitting out at you. They will always pick on the smaller guys. But if you are in a group, it is difficult for them to, because they will also be in a group. You just have to become somebody that poses some kind of a level of threat to them. You don't have to go out, pick fights. But before somebody messes with you, you should. I really feel that. It's a controversial view, I feel, but well, bullying is real, and we don't have therapy or anything like that in school. Our schools don't. We deal with ragging by outlawing it, but we don't really deal with bullying.
Coming to the next part, I wanted, you've written extensively in the book about failure.
Yeah.
And dealing with failure.
Yeah.
And for someone very close to you, so Rajiv, when he failed in school. College.
The same year twice. What wasn't funny was that he tried to commit suicide. He slit his wrist. And it's difficult for people to believe because right now he embodies confidence and attitude. But over there, see, you have to understand, this is 1992, 93. Education even now is a big deal. Over there it was a bigger deal because so many different options weren't open. We come from a South Indian family which really keeps education at a premium. Like I've written in the book, people have their nameplates in front of their doors. They have their name and their degrees next to it. So it's an identity for them. They identify themselves with the education that they've got. And for Rajiv to fail, and I don't think Rajiv failed, I think the system failed. Rajiv and I, we're not great with numbers, we're not great with science. We are creative, we've proved that. We're talented. But that's not a subject in school. Now they want me to get best marks in maths also, they want me to get the best marks in history, we want me to get the best marks in physics, chemistry, language. 40 kids, one teacher, what is that going to be? I mean, it's not, if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, that fish will spend its life thinking itself as useless. But that's a fish, it doesn't have to climb a tree. So when Rajiv failed, he didn't get passing marks, he thought he had brought dishonor to the family, he slit his wrist. And that really changed my life. That was one of the major changing points of my life. I really feel that the system needs to look at this. Every year, when results come out, there are kids all over the country who commit suicide. Abetting suicide is a crime. Yet, nobody has been punished. Ever. Nobody has been punished for these kids' suicides. Yet, they have been abetted by the parents, by their relatives, by school, by their peer group. They have got together, and how have you called a guy a failure? He's in school, his life has not started. To call somebody a failure, you don't understand the impact that has on a young psyche. You're a failure. In school, my friends used to tell me, my parents have told me not to talk to you because you're a bad student, you're a bad influence on me, you're a failure. And that really, again, goes a long way in having your own self-opinion, and it comes out in different ways. I really feel that we feel really strongly about this. I feel that exams are not such a big deal, yeah. It isn't. It really is.
Tell me, how did that change you? So in your creative sort of expertise, so these two aspects, one the bullying you went through and the incident with Rajiv, do you think that has shaped some of the way you interact, the way you do on television?
No, more basically, it shaped the way I view the world. I started viewing the world as an unfair place. I started, like I said, I became an atheist. There is no moral God who is punishing the unrighteous and rewarding the righteous. You open a newspaper, all the crooks are flourishing. There are women being gang raped by villages. Where is the justice? So I started viewing the world as an unfair place where human nature is mostly bad with a little bit of good instead of the other way around. That might seem like a small difference, but it actually changed the way I look at the world. And all this kind of resulted in Roadies. Roadies is the way I see the world.
Elaborate a little on that. So when you say Roadies is the way you see the world, so some key characteristics, if you will.
Having to live with people you don't like. Having to live with people who are their way of success is by eliminating you. Having to do anything to survive, making those choices, having an unfair God. I am the unfair God on the show. I change things without any logic, other than the fact that, hey, I make this world, I change it. In schools, colleges, office, even in joint families, your relationships, you will find these kind of choices and conflicts that you will find in the 40-day journey of Roadies. So that's the way I have, it's because of, these are among the things, being called a failure and Rajiv trying to commit suicide, being bullied. These are the things that shaped my worldview, and that's how Roadies was made.
So, you've had a very interesting career. You started as a spot boy.
Yeah.
On a television show?
It was a documentary.
It was a documentary.
About, ironically, child education.
On child education.
Yeah.
And so, give us a little flavor on how was that journey? From spot boy to executive producer of Roadies.
I think it was awesome, man. I really feel, and I am biased here. At the time, the reason I had to be a spot boy and then a trainee and then all that is because in 1995 when I started working, there was no education for television. It was a new industry. So this was an experiment, and this was the only way. Now there's a lot of courses, a lot of people are educated. I somehow don't think our education is up to the mark there as well. I prefer to hire kids who are dropouts, who are dead-end kids who don't have an option but to succeed. That was who I was. Rajiv and I, we were dead-end kids. If we don't make it here, we're dead. There's nothing we can do. Teachers used to tell my parents, "ये दोनों केले बेचेंगे और किसी काम के नहीं." I really believed कि यार केले बेचेंगे. How would that be? Really. So for me, it was fun only because if somebody wanted coffee, I would make sure I get the best coffee. I get it to the fastest. If somebody wants a tape, man, I'm going to get that tape. I'm going to bring the shit out of that tape. I'll be the best. There was no other option. So because I have worked from the ground up, again, it has influenced the way I manage my team, and it has influenced the way my team relates to me. And that has in turn influenced the way the show is made.
Two interesting things there. So one is because, like you said, that was your last resort, the last option.
Yeah.
So you and Rajiv pretty much gave it everything that you had.
Yeah, and more.
And for a long time.
For 6 years I didn't take a holiday.
Wow. Can anybody imagine him not taking a holiday for 6 years?
I didn't. Even now it's difficult for me to take holidays because of
now it's different. Now it's different.
Yeah, but no, it's not just not taking a holiday. I used to live in office. I used to go home once or twice a month. I used to stay there because I was so, I don't know, maybe insecure, I don't know. I just wanted to be there and do all the work, which I did. I was supposed to be very good.
You are, of course. And then when you had this phase, very recently when you started campaigning for Aam Aadmi Party. So tell us a little about that. How did you sort of venture into that area? Is that something that you see as a future,
I don't know. I hate politics. And more than that, I hate politicians. If there is one group of people I hate more than religious leaders, it is political leaders. I find divisive politics, corruption, I see them as bullies. Now, here's the deal. In Delhi, so many people voted, broke a record. And for years I've been criticizing the youth, saying, you don't do anything, you have so much power, you're the youth, you should change, you have an open mind. But Roadie did. When Anna Hazare started his Andolan, when Arvind Kejriwal announced his party, people from all walks of life really hit the roads, and it just shows that people wanted a leader. Now, I don't know what kind of leadership they will provide. We don't know, they're untested, right? But still, that is better than the tested people that we have in my book. I wanted to stand next to this guy and support him, because I believe you don't fight battles you can win, you fight battles that need fighting. And I'm not here saying Congress is bad or BJP is bad. I'm just saying I think we need a third option. And if they're not splitting away from another group, if they're common people fighting on different principles, I'm all for it. I don't see a future for me even. That's not the reason why I went into it. I cannot survive in politics because I'm basically a good guy. I'm not qualified for politics.
So you don't see yourself, as a chief minister?
I think this whole practice, earlier it used to be in parliament, people used to beat each other up.
What would
if that happens, I would.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was coming to. So if you're chief minister, or let's say member of parliament, and it's in session, and there's a bill which has to be passed.
Man,
I
these
think
other people who try and stop others from talking, I want them to try that with me.
But what would, I'm just some blue sky thinking, everybody. Imagine Raghu Ram, member of parliament, chief minister. Do you think Bombay will become like a Roadie's show? Right? So we will have, Raghu, let's have some fun.
Instead of voting a party, you vote them out. You vote them out. All these leaders will be standing and they'll all get 5 minutes to talk to the kids, to talk to the voters, to say, this is why you should choose me, not this guy. Then these guys should all write and say, you get lost, you get lost. Whoever gets the most votes leaves, and I would televise it and I will make money out of it. Not me, the government will make money out of it. I think it's entertainment.
Agreed. So let's take that a little further. How would you run the state then? From your reality show?
I'd hire qualified people. But not politicians, not bureaucrats. I would hire academicians, I would hire ex-military people, I would hire people with... We need an out-of-the-box thinking, I believe. Because we have to come... And firstly, laws need to be so much stronger, man. People, when they give a speech about divisive politics, when riots happen in Muzaffarnagar, I think all the politicians in that area, or whoever's, they need to be arrested, they need to be banned for life from ever contesting elections again. That doesn't happen. Now, me saying it, certainly some of you will put it on YouTube and this will be another controversy. This really will be.
Yeah, please don't put it.
No, you can put it, I'm used to it. Kya kar lenge, kha jayenge kya?
So I want to ask, if you will be the Prime Minister or a President of India, so what will be the first thing you will change in our country?
I'll get the military. I'll say, come and do a coup. Remove me. Because I really believe that, especially when it comes to safety of women in India, I think we are woefully understaffed. I believe, and terrorist attacks. The 26/11 terrorist attack on Mumbai has scarred me. Till today I get nightmares about it. Every 26/11 I go and I visit that place, so I don't forget. I really believe that every block should have an armed army man. I'm a radical when it comes to this. So you may not like it. You might say, oh, you're against democracy. I think democracy is fine, but for a while we should have military slapping politicians around whenever they open their mouth.
What do you think Roadie as a person should be?
Can I tell you?
Yeah, go all out.
It's not about riding a bike. I can't ride a bike. Raji can't ride a bike. That's written in the book. We've never ridden bikes. People say, hey, something my introduction said, biking culture and all that. I don't know how to ride a bike. But for me, Roadie is somebody who has an open mind, is a seeker. That's why, for me, traveling by bike is a metaphor for interacting with your environment. When it's hot, you're sweating. When it's cold, you're shivering. When it's raining, you're wet. It's not insulated like in a car or not point to point like in a plane. So a roadie, like a bike traveler, is somebody who wants to experience new things. He wants to explore. He wants to explore his surroundings. He wants to explore himself. And keep an open mind, not just digest whatever bullshit is given to him by parents and society. Make up his own mind, and once that mind is made, take a stand. Not somebody who chooses the path of least resistance. Like I said, fight battles that need fighting. For me, that would be an ideal roadie. Yeah, I've answered your question. Thank you so much. That gentleman over there has been.
Yeah, my question has two parts. Basically, I love watching the auditions of the roadies more than the actual programs.
Why?
I don't know. It's just too fun to watch. So like.
You basically like watching people get grilled and shredded. Let's do a
I was making the show, roadies, 1 happened, 2 happened, 3 happened, 4 happened. I was just editing everything. Then when I started going on, people used to talk, excuse me, Raghu Ram? Yeah. Gali de basa. Go ahead.
Okay, so like, you're always, not always grilling the people, like, sometimes you're also, I saw that you're inspiring them to, go into something else, like someone was in the army and you wanted to come to the movies, you told them like, dude, this is what you have to do. So do you feel like, on that topic, has that made any difference in their lives? Actually, has it happened?
I'll tell you 2 things. The show was launched yesterday, the new season. There was a guy called Nikhil. He's a tattoo artist. He came last year. He was a fat lump. He was over 100 kgs. He was into drugs. He was morose. He had a morbid air about him. So we told him, listen, you have to sort yourself out and then we'll talk. I kind of hit him, which he kind of edited out. He came, yesterday's episode showed him, he has a 6-pack, he is fully built, he doesn't do drugs, cigarettes or alcohol, he has turned his life around, he has this entire positive vibe now, okay, and he credits that to us and the show. That's just one example. There are many others on a, if not daily then weekly basis on Twitter. I get to know about people who say that the show inspires them to do something that they wouldn't otherwise. I don't know. My point is, I am not here to change society. I am not here to change anybody's life or even to change anybody's point of view. I am here to put my point of view across. Whoever gets it, whoever does, it's the same episode, right? People are calling me the corrupter of Indian youth. So people are tattooing the name of the show on their backs also. It's the same episode. What they take from it is up to them, and I can't do that.
That's good. And second part is, can you just tell about any 5 best auditions? The most fun.
I don't know if you guys remember, for me my favorite guy is a guy called Devarshi. He was like an alien man. He belonged in the real world. Devarshi ke dunya. I really like that. There are there are interviews that I like for different reasons. There was a guy who actually came out of the closet on the show. We blurred the entire thing. We removed all color, changed his voice. For me, that was intense. There was this lady from Bangalore, a village near Bangalore, who came. She said, if I come on this show, just for me, I have ride and come. I'll have trouble at home. If I was to be selected, they might kill me. And her only point is, as women, हम लोग जिंदगी भर वो करते हैं जो आदमी लोग होना चाहते हैं और आदमी लोग जो हमें बोलते हैं क्यों मैं एक चीज़ नहीं कर सकती? Why is it such a maryada thing and how have I disrespected the entire community by coming on television? For me, that point was very poignant. So there are these some fun ones and then there are these other ones. And then one guy who I really beat up because that was so satisfying. That's also one. Vikas, he went on to win.
Could we hear you sing Manmani?
Oh God.
Do you want us to give you?
No, please, no. I will. You guys asked for it, man. I'm going to croak, and it won't be my fault. मेरी आँखों में सुलगते हैं कितने सूरज के शोले, कायनात कर मुट्ठी में जलती ये सांसें बोले, कुछ नहीं कुछ क्या है ज़्यादा ज़्यादा से दिल ये भरे ना, चांद तू रख बांट तारे, ले तू किश्तों में दुनिया, चाहिए सब कुछ या कुछ नहीं, चाहिए सब कुछ या कुछ नहीं. It's that simple. You guys are so fake. You're so fake. Does anybody know about my failed Indian Idol audition?
Yeah.
You know, it's the whole secret is in there.
What do you think of the YouTube channel, the Viral Fever?
Yeah, I heard about them, na? Viral Fever.
Did you watch it?
I have seen a bit of it, bro. I've seen a bit of it, and I quite like what I saw. In fact, in the Roadie's 10 auditions, I paid a tribute to them by doing exactly what they did. Yeah, the table thing. You saw me do that?
Yeah.
That's the part I saw, and I quite liked it. I think they're funny.
Yeah.
Funny looking also. My only thing is, man, just don't make me look ugly. Make fun of me, but be smart.
So just now you said that these guys are fake, so let's get so real. So one time the Roadie won.
One time that.
Like Kali banging, not just such a Kali.
What are you trying to say?
Thrilling. So you said right now that these guys are
You're fake because you're clapping on. I was
so
bad.
that's
when I
why I'm
started.
saying, let's get some real stuff. So that one time Roadie won. Roadie Raghu.
Actually, Roadie's Raghu is a character in my book. No, you have to. There is a guy. There is a guy called Roadie's Raghu. There are 3 Raghus. Okay? And I believe that I have a problem. But this problem, I don't suffer from. I enjoy this problem. There are 3 Raghus. One is Roadie's Raghu. That's the guy you see on the street. Okay? He's not like, I'm not like him. I am very docile and shy. He never backs down. He never backs down. He's very confrontational. And when he gets scared, that's when he shines. There's Fun Raghu, who's the opposite of Sober Raghu. I have no recollection of him. But people love him. They want to hang out with Fun Raghu. I hate him. He gets me into trouble. And then there's Raghu, that's me, the one you're talking to. Okay? It's impossible for me to be any of the other 2 Raghus right now on demand. I can't be. This is me. Yeah? Thank you.
What was your intention to create Roadie?
I was getting paid to make it. That was a big reason. No. More than that.
I just wanted to know.
So I'm telling you. The MTV is like a mental institution. You have to be mad, only then you'll be happy. There are mental patients. And I went there. तुम्हें लगेगा ये channel चल कैसे रहा है? How is any work happening? Because people are only listening to music, playing table tennis, and dancing and laughing and joking. That's all. That's it. So what happens is, in all this madness, there is a method where nobody interferes. They I have a madness, and then they say, you do your thing, I'm not going to interfere. So that's when I realized that I can actually express myself, because I've been working since '95. I've been a part of many shows before Roadies as well. Before Roadies, I was working in the BBC World Service Trust as a producer. But over here I found that there is no restriction, there is no authority sitting on me for approval. I'm able to express myself exactly what I want to say. That's how Roadies happened. That's how, yeah, I guess 10 years the generation has been ruined because of that culture in MTV. Yeah, thanks.
Sir, why didn't Rajesh sir co-author this book with you?
We are not conjoined twins. I need you to know, he has his own life. He's right now in the Northeast as the producer and one of the judges for Mission Cover Shot for National Geographic. He's also producer of MasterChef India and Junior MasterChef India. He has his own life, he has his own career here. And if I would love him to write a book, that would be his roadie's journey. In fact, I would want Ranvijay to write a book also, that would be his roadie's journey. This is my side of the story. And Rajiv is there a lot in this, and so is Ranvijay. And I'm sure if they write, I'd be a part of it, and I'd love them to write. Right now, I'm lording it over them. Whenever we have a difference of opinion, I'll say, hey man, I wrote a book. You barely read a book, so shut up. So I'm liking that. I'm not telling you, this is what I was saying to those guys. Thank you so much for bearing with me.